about a year and a half ago, summer of 2021. Went out to Ouray with my buddies, and when I got back, was going through some pictures, talking to some friends and family, and I was talking to my dad, and he expressed some interest in heading out to Ouray. And my dad's in his 70s and had never been on an off-road bike or ridden off-road. He'd been on a dirt bike, but it was an enduro that he bought in the 70s, I guess. And so first, everybody needed some motorcycles. I had my 2001 DRZ 400S, which has been a great bike. It's been out to Colorado a number of times. It's worked out really well. But my son and my dad and my daughter's boyfriend, none of them had bikes. And so when we decided we were going to try to look for some bikes and try to make it a trip, Kaylin found a 07 KTM 450 EXC. And then my dad found a Yamaha XT250. After riding Kaylin's KTM and really liked it, I ended up finding an 06 525 EXC that had been plated.
And Charlie, who was my son-in-law by the time we took the trip, bought my DRZ. So we hit the road, and about 23 hours later, we were in Colorado. The trip was special because we had 3 generations riding together, and Tristan and Charlie had just announced that they were expecting. So we kind of had 4 generations with the bun in the oven. The place we stayed was really neat, right next to the 550. We got to see plenty of wildlife, and having the river behind really made for neat sights and sounds. It was really soothing and relaxing to stay there after riding. It was really cool. We saw a whole bunch of hummingbirds, so we picked up a hummingbird feeder and really enjoyed seeing them. It was really cool.
Ready? Here we go.
My dad's brother Phil and my cousins Brian, Mark, and Matt also headed out to Colorado, and we were going to meet him here in the morning, but somehow got our signals crossed and missed him, so we started headed up the mountain. Kalen lost the tube from his gas tank vent, and once we got to the top, he decided he'd run back down and see if he could find it. And lo and behold, about halfway up was the rest of the Terry clan. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it all the way up the hill. The two smaller bikes weren't geared down, and they didn't have enough oomph to make it to the top. But we were surprised to see them, and got to ride with Brian and Mark the rest of the day, and Phil and Matt headed back to do some touring. Tuesday we were going to rendezvous in Silverton and look for Stony Pass. Going to meet my uncle and my cousins down there. Because we were trying to make sure we had some time to enjoy Stony Pass, we didn't want to dilly-dally on the trails. So my dad and Charlie and my uncle took to the road, which allowed Kalen and I an opportunity to rip a little bit up Corkscrew Pass. We met in Silverton and enjoyed the ride from there.
How was that? Real good. Awesome.
Once we met in Silverton, I ended up taking a wrong turn and we ended up going up Arrest Gulch. It's a beautiful spot. A little tough to get to the top with the bikes, but it was kind of cool to see some of the mining ruins and the tram towers. At the top of this, you can hike up and all the way back to Silver Lake. And I've taken that hike and it is really, really beautiful. You end up climbing up the switchbacks that are shown right here and up a little bit of a vertical climb that's got some ropes and cables to assist, and walk back to the mining ruins back at Silver Lake. It's really amazing when you think about how all of that equipment was hauled up the mountains and how those mines were established years and years ago. hard all day. On the way back to the hotel, we encountered a mudslide across 550. It delayed our trip back by about 2 hours, and everybody was pretty cold. But the highway crew was out there and working hard. As soon as they got one lane opened up so traffic could sneak through, they let everybody go and then proceeded to work probably pretty late into the afternoon getting this all opened up, and by morning it was good to go. On Wednesday, Charlie went with Tristan, Lizzie, and Lucinda to Telluride and checked out the ski lifts and the town. And so Kaylin, Dad, and I went up Engineer Pass, got to see some ruins, and just had a beautiful day. plan for Thursday was for us to go to Governor's Basin and then climb up to Imogene Pass, where we were going to meet the girls who were renting a Jeep tour. Unfortunately, because of the mudslides, Campbird Road was closed, so we couldn't get to Governor's Basin or Imogene Pass from that side. And so the guide decided to take the girls on a private tour on some private trails that they had access to. And so we took a different route, up Brown Mountain, then back over to Engineer Pass. And we rode part of Engineer Pass. In the afternoon, we rendezvoused back in town and decided as a group to go up to Governor's Basin. Kaylin and Charlie and my dad and Uncle Phil and Matt were going to take the bikes up the hill, and we're going to meet somewhere. And Matt's bike, the clutch went out, and so he rode with us, and Charlie and Kaylin hung out together for a little bit, and my dad and his brother Phil decided to head on up the mountain and explore a little bit on their own. So we hiked around for a while and then all got back together and enjoyed the afternoon.
Ready?
For our last day, we thought we'd give Black Bear Pass a try. It was a little wet and rainy, but we had a great time. Ran down into Telluride, then up over Imogene Pass back to Ouray. Great way to end a wonderful week.
infamous Black Bear Pass.
We just wanted to make sure he made it up.
When you're close to me, I'm feeling high when I'm low. I'm feeling high when I'm low. I'm feeling you. I'm broken when you're not around. I'm smoking words, I'm screaming out. Close
ponds never failed to impress me. The weather was a bit rainy all week, but just made for some beautiful scenery, some great riding, and what a great opportunity to enjoy 3 generations together. Getting the chance to ride with my dad and my son-in-law, having the family out there. The wonderful experience and a trip that I'll certainly never forget.